Hi everyone, welcome back to the Gypsy Caravan. I'm Shan. How are you doing? Today we're going to be doing the third video in my Matric farewell dance makeup playlist. Today's look is all about being very glowy, very ethereal. This makeup is definitely geared towards my very natural girlies, the girls who want to wear a little bit of makeup but don't want to wear too much. I really like this makeup look because even though it is more on the natural side, you have the really good parts of the makeup combined in one, or at least the really good parts of the Matric farewell makeup in one look. You've got the glitter, you've got the really nice glowy juicy skin. Essentially, in my opinion, I feel like this sort of makeup look would be really good for the girls who want to wear a silver, a gold, or even maybe a white or cream sort of dress to the Matric dance. This is a really beautiful look to complement that, and it works well with all skin tones. And it has my favorite product, which is the glitter on the lids, which is a pigment that I will show you in the tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and follow me on all social media, and don't forget to check out the other looks that I have in my playlist. I will link that in the video. So let's get into it. Starting off with priming our lids, I am using the 24-hour eye base primer by MAC today. This is an easy one to apply. You can just apply it with your fingers. Just make sure you get it in from the inner corner to the outer corner and all the way from your brow bone down to your lash line. I'm then going to go in with some Brule Eyeshadow from MAC and a 286 blending brush from MAC, and I'm going to set this primer. You don't have to set the primer. I just prefer it because this primer is just a touch too tacky for my liking, and I find that eyeshadows just don't blend as well unless you set it with a little something first. The next eyeshadow I'm going in with is Kid by MAC, and again just using the same 286 brush. I'm going to use this as a transition shade. Kid is the perfect transition shade because it's not too cool and it's not too warm. It's quite a nice neutral, which is the type of eye that we're going in with today. It's also not too dark. It's a little bit darker than my skin tone, so it'll make for a great transition shade. The next eyeshadow I'm going in with is Soba. Again, a MAC eyeshadow, and I'm just going to use this to deepen up the transition shade. I don't want to make this eye too dark. I do want some kind of definition and contour in the eye, but essentially the goal is not to create a too dark an eye. I'm then going to swap over to a 217 brush, and I'm going to use this to deepen up that outer corner. Again, I'm using the Soba eyeshadow again, just to deepen that up so that we have that really nice pulled out smoky effect, but again keeping it quite light. So just be sure to always work in circular motions for this type of eye look, because we do want all the eyeshadows to be quite diffused and with a hint of contour and definition, but not like an actual eyeshadow color, if that makes sense. The shimmer that I'm going in with today is Retrospeck by MAC, and I'm using a 239 brush to apply this. This is just going to go from inner corner to about the touch of the outer corner. I'm using this to create light on the eye, so I'm only applying it to the mobile part of the lid. Then to brighten up the waterline, I'm going in with a Chromographic eye pencil. This is NW25 NC30. It's essentially a concealer in a pencil, but I'm using it to brighten the waterline. You can use a white eyeliner or a cream eyeliner if you prefer. I'm then going in with this Volume 3 Cream Color Palette by Sir John and Woolworths. I am taking the white pearlescent cream, and I am applying this over top the Retrospeck. This is going to give the eye a really nice glittery finish and shimmer, but it's also going to be the eye base that we're going to use for the actual glitter and shimmer that I'm going to be applying in just a sec. This is glitter by MAC. It's Reflect Gold. It is the most beautiful glitter pigment in my opinion. Nothing tops this. I use this on everyone. Matric dance to bride to just a Sunday night, date night. It is the most perfect pigment, and I went and applied it over top that cream color base just to add a little bit more shimmer and sparkle and bring that ethereal light back into the eye. I'm then just curling my lashes with a lash curler. I'm then going to go in with a lash primer because I'm not doing falsies today, because again I want this to be a very natural, ethereal, light, glowy look. This is the Paradise Extatic by L'Oreal. It's just their primer. I'm going to brush this into my lashes, and then just before that sets, I'm going to go in with some mascara. My good old Fenty Full Frontal is my tried and true at the moment. So I'm just going to brush that into the primer. Essentially, a primer is just there to help thicken up, lengthen, and condition your lashes if you weren't sure what a lash primer was. Moving into skin, I want to keep the skin super glowy and very light today. So I'm going to go in with this Insta Glow Serum by Isabella Garcia. It gives the skin this really nice glowy radiant finish, and it has a nice tack to it. So it's going to hold on to all the other products that we're going to put down on our face and have it last longer throughout the evening. I'm also just going to blow out my pores. I'm using the Toucher Beauty Silk Canvas. And essentially this is just a smoothing primer. So I'm just applying this over my nose and over the pores that kind of just taper out into the sides of my cheeks there. I'm then going to do some under highlighting with another cream color base. This is Hush by MAC, and I'm just applying this to all the high points of my face and just emphasizing the glow and highlight within my skin and creating that glow from within sort of look, you know, to keep it quite ethereal. I'm doing some minimal underpainting contour. This is the Fenty Cheeks Out Bronzer in the shade Amber, and I am just going to buff this in with the 303 brush from Real Techniques. I'm just creating a subtle shadow in my face. Again, I don't want to do heavy contour or heavy bronzing, but I do need to bring some angle back into my face because my face is quite round. I'm also going to do a little bit of structuring around my nose, trying to straighten up the skewness that is my nose. And just do a little bit of contouring there. For foundation today, I'm going in with a skin tint. This is the Hint In Skin Tint by Morphe 2. I'm going to be applying this with a damp Real Techniques sponge. It is a skin tint, so it's not going to cover much, but it is going to even out the skin tone. It is going to create some really beautiful glow in the skin, and that's kind of what we want for this look. The shade I used is A Hint of Marshmallow. So you can see how glowy the skin looks there, and this just looks really good. It's very runway type skin, and if you want to know how to do runway skin, I actually have a tutorial on that, so I will link that in this video for you if you want to check that out. It's called Backstage Skin essentially. So then for concealer, I'm not really concealing. This is just a highlighter by Isabella Garcia, and I'm just using that to kind of create a tiny bit more coverage in certain areas, and then I'm just going to blend that out with a damp sponge. Essentially, I really just did this under my eyes to brighten up that area and lift the bag that I always seem to have underneath my eyes there. So yeah, it's the same color as my skin, essentially. So color correcting, I guess, sort of. I'm then going to hotspot certain areas and just smooth out some of the areas on my skin using a translucent powder. This one is by L'Oreal. And I'm actually going to use that damp sponge to apply it, because applying a translucent powder with a damp sponge is actually going to smooth out your skin better than what you would if you were using a brush. Just a hack. I'm then going to finish up underneath the eyes. I'm just going in with some Soba underneath the eyes, nothing dramatic. I'm going to use all the same brushes just to create a really blown out smoky effect, and then also apply your mascara. I have forgotten that a couple of times now, so don't forget to apply mascara underneath your eyes as well. And then for highlighter, I'm going in with Nylon by MAC. I'm going to use the big fluffy brush to apply this underneath the brow bone, because we cannot do an eye look without highlighting the brow bone. And Nylon is very similar in an undertone to the Reflect Gold that we have on the lid. I'm then swapping to a JH42 to just highlight that inner corner and create a really nice intense glow in that area. And then time for brows. I'm going to be doing a very natural brow today. I'm literally only setting it with a brow gel. So I'm just going to spoolie out my eyebrows with the spoolie, obviously, of course. Just loosen up the brows and the product that are sitting in the brows. And then the brow gel set I went in with today is Beguile by MAC. And I'm going to kind of create like a fluffy brushed up brow. So I'm just brushing the product forward into my brows, and then I'm going to brush my brows back on themselves, so going the correct way. And that's what's going to create that really fluffy, filled, thick brow. This sort of brush is a lot bigger than the next one that I use, which I don't like, but it's a lot quicker, it's a lot easier, and it tends to tint and fill my brows in a lot faster than the next ones. Then just to bring some warmth into the face, I'm going to use my Butter Bronzer on a 168 brush. And I'm just going to go over the Fenty just to bring up that contour bronzing type of thing up again so that you can actually see the color and structure out the face more. I'm going to go over my nose. I'm going to go over my forehead. I'm going to use a very light hand though because I don't want to look too contoured, but like I said, I do need some shadow in my face. I'm then going to go in with a powder blush. This is Modern Mandarin by MAC. And just with my Smashbox Buildable Cheek Brush, I'm just going to sweep this across my cheeks, kind of like on the apples, and then just swept up. The Modern Mandarin is an orange blush, but with a light hand, it just adds that really nice warmth back into the skin. And then I went in with some Nylon on the same brush as a highlighter. And I just highlighted all the high points in my face and, you know, to make everything correspond and flow. I'm then going to set my face with some of that Catrice setting spray. And then for a lip today, I kind of went in with an earthy sort of lipstick. This is Can't Dull My Shine by MAC. It is a Lustre lipstick. It is quite pigmented, but I pressed it in with my finger to just add a hint of color. I didn't want to wear a lipstick per se, but I wanted something to match up with that Soba eyeshadow that I had in my lid. So I'm just pressing the Lustre lipstick in. And then, of course, the star of the show is this lip oil by Revlon. It's in the shade Bouncing Beige. And this is just what's going to create a really glossy lip. It's not a lip gloss, it's an oil. So you have all the shine of a lip gloss, but none of the stickiness of a lip gloss. It's just a lip oil. So it's very nourishing and very comfy to wear on the lips. So this is the completed look. Thank you so much for watching today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and follow me on all social media platforms. And don't forget that whenever you can, to refer the Gypsy Caravan.